All right, guys. Number 3 on your spiritual awakening / healing journey is, now in 2022, we have like a greater awareness of, um, you know, healing modalities, healing from trauma. So this has been, we had the COVID where we were stuck inside, and, a lot of us really had to delve into, our traumas and really begin to heal. Um, so we're understanding ourselves, like I said, maybe through astrology or human design. We might be, doing shadow work, journaling, chakra healing and balancing, listening to healing music, getting rid of toxic patterns, toxic people. So we're doing all of these things in service to our higher self, to become better, to evolve our soul. And so as we're doing all of these things, Spirit is like, okay, bet. I'm going to just throw something your way and see how you deal with it. Okay, and so that's when you get triggered, right? So if you're not fully healed, and healing is a journey, okay, not a destination, you may be triggered, and you may act out of pocket. You may act out of alignment with, what you've been working so hard to cultivate, which is being in alignment with your higher self, releasing trauma and, healing your inner child, right? So this will invariably happen. Okay, so something will happen. It could be a disobedient or willful child, which I have two. It could be a narcissistic partner, which I have one. It could be, just an asinine coworker. It could be you expressing yourself on social media, and somebody who you thought was down for you pretends like they don't see you, right? So this has been very tough, especially since I have an Aries sun, and my sun is in the 7th house, which is partnerships, relationships. Okay, so part of what I'm meant to learn in this lifetime is not over identifying in relationships. This was something that I had to overcome, like being able to speak my truth and then letting go of expectations, which I have a video about that, which was really a big part of this journey for me. So yeah, you're gonna be triggered, and that's okay. That's why we're here, right? We're here to learn. This planet is a school. Low key, it's turned into a prison, but regardless of whether it's a school or a prison, our soul is meant to learn, grow, and evolve. And we do that by, transmuting the energy, like if we feel like our energy isn't reciprocated, we kind of have to have a sit down with ourselves and be like, okay, well, this wasn't for them. Maybe, maybe they really just did appreciate you when you were less awake. They're not in the same frequency. By the way, there is a great video on here by a YouTuber named Ro Ojim. Is it Ojim? Yes, Ro Ojim. And she did a great video about how to alchemize the energy in relationships. Please check her out. If I can figure it out, I'll put a link to her video in the description box. But yeah, what she talks about, I can totally relate with, and I love how she explains how, um, not to take it personally when your energy is not reciprocated. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, but yeah, check out her video. And in terms of like just triggers in everyday life, that's the universe sending you a test. Like, okay, well, did you learn the lesson that you were supposed to learn? Can you handle this? Because we want to give you more, but the only way that we can give you more is with the that you have the inner standing and the overstanding of, how to respond from your higher self in any given situation, right? So, you don't want a king or a queen who's going to pop off, right? So if you are moving into higher self, which in itself is a type of royalty, then you will be tested to see if you are made of the stuff to be considered royalty, right? So, yeah, don't beat yourself up too much about it when you are triggered. The past 2 years since I've been on this journey, I've been triggered. I nearly broke down my son's door because I totally flipped out. I'm not proud of that. I smashed my daughter's mirror, completely lost it several times. And, all I could do was just okay, I got to go back to my meditation. I got to, collect myself. I have to ask myself, okay, where was I triggered? Why was I triggered? Oh, you're trying to control. Oh, you feel like you're not being listened to, just like you weren't listened to as a child, right? So, reaffirming to my inner child, you are heard, you are loved, you are respected, you are appreciated. Understanding not to take it personally when, my children aren't listening to me. Honestly, nobody triggers me like my children trigger me. And I really think that it does have to do with, inner child, past trauma type of stuff, which I've had to work through. For most people, therapy is a great option. I've tried therapy. I did not like therapy. I feel like for some people, therapy doesn't work for us because, various reasons, right? If you have a situation where somebody really can't relate, if you're a therapist where it's okay, so you've had a trauma, but it's okay, so you have parents? Oh, okay, so you don't know my situation because I don't have parents. Never did. I had a mom who was schizophrenic, but, and I never knew my dad, and I was raised by my grandparents, which is, that's, a lot of people are raised by their grandparents, whatever. But there's other stuff on top of that where, I don't really want somebody who really can't relate to my experience, trying to help me work through something. And again, that could be my astrology. That could also just be I have to do this on my own. I have to work through and process this stuff on my own. Also with therapy, I felt like there was this, they were always trying to validate me. And it's I don't want you to validate me. I need to work through this stuff. And it's after 8 sessions, if it's oh yes, I totally understand how you're, oh yeah. No, I don't want a yes person. I want somebody who is going to help me work through this stuff. Anyway, I'm not here to complain about therapy. If therapy works for you, that's great. I do believe that therapy, can work for anybody, if you find the right therapist. I just never found the right therapist, and I was kind of like sick of trying. So I've had to work through this stuff myself. But long story short, you're going to have to work through this stuff because you will be triggered. You will always be triggered in life. And, it's how you respond really that is sort of indicating to the universe whether you're ready to sort of move forward to the next level.